States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Chairman is on his way. He'll be here shortly. I was wondering if anybody had any objection to moving the approval for the use of the town common up at all?
No, sir.
That'd be item number 121. It's the use of the town common for the Burlington Rotary Luncheon on Friday, June 14th, 12 noon to 1:30 p.m. I know we have a representative from the Rotary here if need be, but
This club has done this in the past, and we wanted to make sure that we crossed the Ts and dotted the Is about using the town common. It literally is just a luncheon for an hour and a half, right over by the water fountain, little Rotary Park there. So we just wanted to make sure it was on the agenda.
and that's the fountain and benches that the Rotary actually donated.
Correct.
Several years ago.
Correct.
Any further discussion on that?
If not, I make a motion that we approve.
We have a motion, and second?
Second.
Motion by Bob, second by Nick. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstained, 400.
Thank you, Bill.
All set. Item number, is everybody here from your group? I think the chairman may want to make a comment on this, so if you don't mind, I'll do 113 first. Item number 113, it's approval. Vote to approve a zero-interest bond to be issued to the MWRA for inflow and infiltration, MWRA phases 11 and 12, as approved at the annual town meeting of May 13, 2019. And I know we have Mr. Curtin here on that. Brian?
Thank you, Selectman Tigas, Vice Chairman. Board members, this was a bond that was approved, authorized by town meeting on May 15th for $2,220,000. This is a no-interest bond. This is for inflow infiltration with MWRA migration. This is something that's been going on for over 20 years. Burlington is fortunate enough to be able to be part of this program. This is the first phase of probably could be over 10-year program. These bonds are for $277,500. It paid off, as I said, no interest over 5 years at $27,750 a year. And I'm asking the selectmen to vote to approve the first bond in this $2,220,000 for the $277,500. Vote to approve and sign the bond documents that are before you now that are being circulated.
Thank you, Brian. I should have mentioned earlier, our town administrator, Paul Sagrino, is not here tonight. We have his stunt double, Mr. Denizio, standing in for him. John, did you have anything on this?
No, I think Brian covered it all. It's mostly a housekeeping measure, and one thing I would point out is that this program is the I&I program with MWRA is a 75-25 program, and that means that 75% of the money comes by way of a grant or financial assistance program, and the other 25% is the zero-interest loan that Brian's talking about for $277,500 that's paid back over a 10-year period.
And you need me to,
Yeah, so there's some specific motion language that Betty provided, and she highlighted it in yellow, and Mr. Tigas is going to read that motion because it has to be very specific from bond counsel.
okay, I'll read it as printed. Voted that the sale of the $277,500 sewer bond of the town dated June 17, 2019 to Massachusetts Water Resources Authority, also known as the Authority, is hereby approved, and the town treasurer or other appropriate town official is authorized to execute on behalf of the town a loan agreement and a financial assistance agreement with the authority with respect to the bond. The bond shall be payable without interest on May 15th of the years and in the principal amount as provided on July 10th, 2019 vote sheet. Further voted that each member of the Board of Selectmen, the town clerk, and the town treasurer be and hereby are authorized to take any and all such actions and execute and deliver such certificates, receipts, or other documents as may be determined by them or any of them to be necessary or convenient to carry into effect the provisions of the foregoing vote.
Just one clarification, that date is supposed to be June 10th, it's supposed to be today's date. I think it's written on there, July
Yeah,
minutes.
all right,
The bonds are being executed June 17th, but the vote is today.
okay. Any discussion on that, or?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman. The bonds are paid from the money we collect in fees for the INI, is that right?
Correct, yeah, so it
it's
has
not
no
a-
effect on.
Not a tax payer.
Tax effect, Mike, right?
Correct.
Thank you.
All right, so is this the motion?
Yes,
All right.
that was just read by Jim.
Yeah, I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion by Mike, second by Bob. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 500. Mr. Chairman, if I could just update you quickly, we took item number 121 out of order. This one's done. And I was gonna take 114 out of order, but I know this is one of your favorite events, so I wanted to save it for you. Plus, I'm waiting for Rajani to show up too, so,
Thank you, Brian.
All right,
thanks, Brian.
thank you. Thank you, Brian.
So we're at number 114.
114. Use of the town common. Indian Americans for Burlington Festival Lights. I never say it right every year, 5 years, I haven't said it right yet. Holiday celebration.
Come on up, folks.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and board members. My name is Indra Deb. I'm the treasurer and town liaison from Indian Americans for Burlington. I want to introduce our president, Jeannie Puktel, secretary, Sheetal Bhamar, and outstanding member, Ranjini Saigal. So she is new.
Hi, I'm the, mic is not sure. Hi, I'm the president of IAB for 2019 and 2020. As you know, Indian Americans for Burlington is a community organization whose mission is to promote civic, charitable, community, educational, activities within the town and to get involved and, be a part of the town activities and everything. So until now, with all your help, we have accomplished a lot, being a part of the town activities like the Burlington Library Raffle Basket, the July 4th Parade, and we are very proud of that. We're looking forward for it as well. And the Veterans Day flag placement, we were part of that as well. Our members volunteered in placing the flags. And the biggest achievement we have is the scholarship for the two scholarship for the BHS students, 500 each. And the most awaiting events, which we started 2 years back, was the celebration of Diwali, which is Festival of Lights, good over evil, and so I'll let Ranjini talk more about Diwali. She's our idea maker in the IAB team. So this year also we would like to celebrate the Festival of Lights on September 29th. It's a Sunday from 12 to 8 p.m. And along with that, the highlight of the event is to lit some of the trees in the town common on that day. And actually Diwali this year falls on October 27th. We would also request that we lit a couple of trees on this Diwali day as well. And we have been doing that in the last 2 years as well. It's been a total hit. People, they look forward for it. And I think not just the Indians, but everybody in the town and outside the town as well. We had at least 1,000-something people last year attending the event. It was a great success. So with that, I'll let Ranjini to take from there.
Sure. Well, what an honor it is to be here again today. Thank you all for your support for the past few years. I think you all know now about Diwali quite a bit. I think I have heard from you talking about it now with others, and it's wonderful. I think Diwali, as you know, of course, is that equivalent of the Christmas in the Western world, where it's really a national festival. It's a holiday which is celebrated by all Indians. We all feel part of this wonderful occasion where it's a time for giving, time for sharing, and it's Festival of Lights. It's exactly what it is. I would say one of the feedback that we've got is a lot of young people I have met. The people of Indian origin feel very happy that Burlington is doing something like that, and we hear a lot from the kids that they feel so thrilled to see this. And also there are people of non-Indian origin who have come and told me that they've understood the culture better. So kind of that was the goal when we set out. I remember the first time I mentioned it, and it seems like that is coming to fruition. So we look forward again. I don't want to spend too much time because I think you all know about the festival, how it operates. I think all the fun games have been very interesting. So we have a lot of cultural programs that we do at that time that kind of depicts what Indian society, Indian culture is all about. We have a lot of games that we do. This year, every year we try to do some more of the giving back, and we want to, I know that Jeannie has a big, and Sheetal and the new committee has a big focus on that, so we'd like to see how we want to use the festival for that as well. So thank you.
I want to add two things. One is people from other towns, they're talking about the town of Burlington's diversity, and which I feel proud of when I hear. They said, wow, you are doing it, the town is letting you do these things in the common. I definitely feel proud, and I've been more than 30 years in town. The other thing is we want to say about the rainy day.
Yeah.
Okay, so if in case there is any rain, then we are going to do it the next week, which is, what date is that? October
6th.
October 6th. So here we are for your approval. Thank you.
So let me just start quickly. I'm going to let everyone speak because it's a great event. It really is. I've never seen anything so colorful in my life, and I've never seen so many people so happy. But we'll go with my comments afterwards, so we'll start with Bob.
I thought it was terrific in the sense that all of us met the young man who started the program to get rid of plastic bags in town. He came up to most, if not all of us, that night and said, how do I do this? And we met him at Diwali, and I thought that was terrific that he reached out to us, and because of you guys, we were there, and so it's back and forth, and it's become a really exciting time. So I look forward to the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's a phenomenal event. I've gone every year, and I think I missed the first year, the initial year, but it's a great event. I do have one question on the lights, though. Are you getting assistance from the rec department to do it? And also, do you plan on keeping them up from the Diwali celebration to the 2nd October date, or are you gonna?
We would love to if we can. I'm just going to say that, but if not, we would, if there's an issue, then definitely 27th would be the,
So we'll be working with
Brandon.
and it will be most likely be like, the day of the event and then during the Diwali week. So Diwali is kind of celebrated like, 5-7 days.
Yeah.
It's every day as an auspicious day during that period. So if you could get during those 5 days or 7 days, however the, Brendan would approve, and based on that, so, yeah.
We already have a meeting with Brendan, so Brendan knows about the dates.
And people are very, the Burlington people are so proud of it because no other town lights the tree or the common, during a festival, right? And that kind of highlights, like in the mentioned about the diversity that we promote. And it's a big thing for the kids as well. Like my kids go to elementary and middle, so they all talk about it. They know their culture, they know the festival, and putting the lights on is just for them too. It's a big thing, like, they do talk about it as well.
All set.
Priest?
I'll just say, I love the festival. And it's been an absolute pleasure of mine to take my family. The kids love it. I know last year Penelope made a kite, and the kids were enamored by all the dances. And I think it's great to be able to have this opportunity to share with my kids and teach them about something that isn't, what I grew up with. right? I think it's great to be able to expand my children's view of world culture here in town,
That's awesome.
right? I don't have to ship them someplace to do that. And so I just want to say thank you to all of you and to the IAB for your enthusiasm, your dedication for doing this and everything you do with the town and for the town. It is wonderful, and I hope that more residents in town can look to your example of, enthusiasm, dedication to getting up and, doing something, and
Oh,
it's
that's
great. So just thank you all very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Briefly, I know Indra touched on Burlington being a diverse community, and that is certainly evident when you walk into any one of our public schools. It is a much more diversified community than it was just 30 or 40 years ago. So we're certainly pleased and proud to support the Diwali on the Common again this year.
I also want to make just one comment that I really appreciate. I think ever since we did that, we have gotten to know that all of you so much, and it's been an honor to know each one of you. You guys are very special, and the town is very special. So I think that's the meaning of Diwali, to become friends, and it's been just an honor, really, to get to know every one of you.
One more thing, I think you should get the chairman out there dancing.
Oh, and that would be good. You all are part of the last dance act,
That's a motion, I second that.
I really don't. Thank you.
Go ahead. Your turn.
Yeah, my turn. I don't even know what to say. No. This has been fantastic. Through the years that I've been a selectman, this has been a wonderful event every single year. The traffic's always been in control. The people have always been in control. The event itself is, I've never seen anything so colorful in my life. And I watched this, I'm like, wow. First time I walked in there, like, after it took me 40 minutes to find a place to park, but that's neither here nor there. It just goes to show what this town is really all about. It really does. To show that you have this festival on the Common, and then we have a Christmas festival, and then we have the tree lighting ceremony. It just goes to show that this town has really stepped up in a lot of ways, and I couldn't be any more proud of you having this on the Common. So I wish you all the best, and if there's anything we can do for the lights, let us know. I'm sure we can get a vote in if we need to, or not. I think we could do that pretty easily. So wish you the best of luck. Just very quickly,
Do they want to mention the website or anything?
getting there, Bob, Jim.
All right.
So September 29th, 2 to 8, that's the date it's set for. The rain date is October 6th. This is for everybody that's watching or listening. The rain date is October 6th. I'm assuming that's the same times? 2 to 8? And then the website, is there a website that people can go to?
Yes.
And could you please tell us what that is?
www.iabma.org.
Okay, everybody get that? I'm waiting
We
for it.
also have a Facebook page.
Hold on, you got one
So
coming
I'll
in.
just repeat again. So I'll repeat the website again, just www.iabma.org. And you can find us on Facebook. Just look up for Indian Americans for Burlington. If you cannot find it, just look up Ranjini.
She'll find us. Yeah.
Well, all I can say is thank you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, we need an approval, don't we? Yeah. I was just gonna say, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, don't worry about it. Do I have a motion on this?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman. We approve the Diwali use of the town common for the Indian Americans for Burlington for the Festival of Lights Diwali celebration on September 29th with a rain date of October 6th from 2 to 8 p.m.
12 to 8.
12 to 8? It says 2 to 8, 12 to 8. It says 2 on ours.
It does say two.
Yep.
Okay, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second?
Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations. Enjoy.
Thank you.
And
See you
I
all on
don't
29th.
think I'll be dancing.
Yeah, we want to invite
don't
all
think
of
I'll be
you and
dancing.
We'll work on it.
All right, Jim,
I have two left feet.
Oh, she is a good dance teacher.
I know that. I've seen you dance. You're very good at it.
Please plan to come.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Please save the date, and all you and your family and your friends are invited, your kids.
Of course. And I was going to say, if there's anything that you might want to use that opportunity to reach out to the Indian community, it might be the place to do that. If there is some message, some things that we can have a booth for the town, and if somebody wants to, share in any way with our community, that would be something I want
That's
to
great.
share as well.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Have a great night. Thank you. Okay. Did we do 113?
113 is
Oh,
done.
That's done, okay. So we're at that 115, right? Approval?
Yes.
Use of handicap parking fines, request. Sir?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 115, for the use of handicap parking fines fund. I believe Mr. Hogan is the board liaison to the Disability Access Committee, and I think you would like to present this item?
I will, I don't
Okay,
have.
too.
You got it? All right. Every year, the Recreation puts out handicap, or puts out porta potties for everybody, but also puts out a number of handicap porta potties to make it accessible to people who are in wheelchairs or walkers. And the Disability Access Commission, through the Handicap Parking Fine Fund, subsidizes the difference between what a regular porta potty cost and the handicap porta potty. And that comes to a, what do we get? $2,652 to be used to offset the cost of the handicap porta potties. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them around town. So the number is $2,652. And that fund is the fund, the money comes from handicap parking tickets that are written by the police department. So that isn't taxpayer money, that is from the handicap parking tickets.
Okay. Do we have any comments on this from anybody?
Motion approved.
Motion approved. Motion approved by Mike, second by Nick. All those in favor?
Aye.
500 in favor. Thank you, guys. 116, public hearing, grant the location.
Wait 5 minutes.
Oh, we have to wait 5 minutes?
60 good.
Yeah. Mr. Denizio, should we wait 5 minutes for the time that's on here? It says 6:30.
I think we have to wait till 6:30 to do
Okay, so
We can skip ahead.
we'll do with this time right now is, while it's still early in the evening, and I think some people will still be watching this, not to bring this meeting down a little bit, but we had a loss over the weekend of a great guy that worked for the town. Rich Reed has passed away after a long battle with cancer. I know for myself personally, I've got to know him over the past years as being a selectman, and I knew him a little bit prior to. Couldn't have met a nicer guy. He's been all over the place. Bring that up. He's just been one of those guys that has worked very, very hard for the town and has done a lot of nice things. I know the guys all like him, and you all have something nice you're going to say about this gentleman. So I think at this time we'll proceed with that, where it's still early. And may I say, I wish his family all the best. So what else can you say? He's a great guy and he fought hard. So we'll start with this end this time.
I mean, it's never easy losing anyone, and I'll just simply say that my thoughts and prayers go out to Mr. Reed's family, and yeah, it's never easy.
Michael?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've known Rich for quite a while. He's close to, my family's been a frequent guest at my house, and I can tell you, my grandchildren just love when Rich Reed used to come over. He's going to be sorely missed by my entire family, and as far as the town, there's going to be some big shoes to fill. Rich was, when we created that facilities division, Rich was an integral part of the success of that unit, and he's actually groomed that division into a really well-oiled machine, in my opinion, and so I thank him for all the hard work he has given to this community, and we're gonna certainly miss him. Thank you.
Jim?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, just off of what Mike said, he created that division. He was like the first leader of it. And whenever you needed something, you just call him, he took care of it. And you could always knew it would be done. He oversaw the Memorial Day, the groundskeeping for the Memorial Day services that we had. Every year, it just looked phenomenal. I know we in the town depended on him for many years, so just letting the family know if they need anything from us, let us know, and we'll see what we can do and try to help you.
Thank you. Bob?
I had the great honor of getting to know Rich through the work he did down the cemetery for the Memorial Day and Veterans Day and for the burials of veterans in town. And he was most proud. He had a lot to be proud of, but he was most proud when family members would come up to him or have somebody relay to him a message that they were so pleased at how well the cemetery always looked. And they took that about as serious as any job anybody could have. So I was proud to have known him in those capacities. And we all remember just about 3 or 4 weeks ago, he was at our meeting that we had down at the school committee announcing DPW week or month. And he's still fighting then, so God bless Rich.
John?
So I just met Rich this fall, and I can tell you that he's a very likable guy. I liked him right away. He was one of the first people to come in through that door and introduce himself to me. And, although I didn't know him that well, to a man, every person I've spoken to here, man or woman, has all said the same thing, that not only did they like and love Richie, but that he was competent and you could always count on him. And when he told you something was done, you didn't have to think about it again. And, through all the personal opinions everybody had of him, that professional opinion too should be said too. So just wanted to get that out there.
Betty?
He was a great guy. I got to work with him also with Veterans Day, Memorial Day, and when he would come to our office, he would visit with us, and this was a hard thing to watch, to go through, and we'll miss him.
Thank you. So just to close real quick, gentlemen, thank you very much. I'm sure the family will enjoy hearing the kind words, but there's nothing negative to say about the man, because he was just a kind man. He did what he said he was going to do all the time. He never backed down from anything that he said he was going to do. He will truly be missed in this town as the facilities manager and as a person in general. He was just a great, great guy. And I wish his family the best, and I'd like to once again say what Jimmy had said, if the family ever needs anything from us, don't hesitate. I think the town would be here for him. So on that note,
Mr. Chairman, may I add one other individual that we've lost? Over at the fire department, a former deputy chief, Larry Rice, passed away after a long battle of his own. A member of the United States Marine Corps, a very proud Marine, was involved with the Allied veterans for many years, and he passed away, and that's going to be a hole that's going to take a while to fill for a lot of people. So Larry Rice also, our prayers go with him, I hope.
thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, I think we can move on now.
Okay.
John, would you like to go ahead?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 116 is the grant of location. So next we have a public hearing for the request of a grant of location by Verizon for Instar and Eversource for a new pole located at 3 McIntyre Drive, which is needed to provide service to new customers. Town engineering has reviewed this and has no issue with the request. It's a reminder of the process. What we do is open the public hearing. We ask members of the public if they have anything to say, even if the room is empty. We close the public hearing, then the selectmen will discuss and debate and vote. So we need to open a public hearing.
So at this point, I'd like to open the public hearing. Seeing there's nobody in the public here right now,
Still asking.
let's just have to ask anyway, right? So do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded to close the public hearing. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, we can move on. Sir?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Steve Bigley. I work for Utility Consultants Synergetics. We're a contractor for Verizon. So I am here to represent Verizon New England's interest in the placement of this pole at the request of Eversource.
We have any comments, any questions, anything for Steve?
I know there's new construction right there. I assume that's to accommodate utilities at that site. It looks fine to me. I have really no issues with this.
Apparently, there's a new home being built at 3 McIntyre
Right.
Drive. And this relocation of the pole will put it on the proximity of the property line to alleviate any aerial trespass issues.
Jim?
Just regarding the petition plan, I just want to make sure this is correct. It has number 2 and 3 McIntyre on the same side of the street.
It appears that way. One is on the other side of the street. You think 3 would be over there as well. I didn't draw the petition.
Okay, I just want to make sure it was correct, but
I'm assuming it is. I didn't draw it.
And the only problem I see with that is when they go to water, odd even numbers, they're gonna be same side of the street.
Three houses on it.
Bob?
No, I'm good.
Nick?
No, nothing for me.
Okay, we're all good. This is a public hearing, so there's no vote on this, right? There is?
Yep.
Public hearing, vote. Yes, there is. Do I have a motion?
so moved to approve grant a location for Verizon, for N-Star and Eversource on McIntyre Drive.
Second.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second. I'm sorry.
Mike, a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0. Yes, Betty?
So as a reminder, before you proceed with any work, you'll check in with Mr. Tom Hayes in engineering. And,
Town engineer, yes.
yes, that's correct. So before you do anything, you check in with him, let him know that, and I'll send him a letter that we've approved.
Thank you.
And thanks for your patience, Steve.
Thank you. Okay, so we're all in favor, 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your consideration.
Moving right along, we're 10 minutes early now. Did we do this, John? 10 minutes early for this transfer license.
So did we skip to
Skip to, what could we skip to? 61 Center Street? We do that?
Sorry, 118 or 119?
61 Center Street? Over 119, can we do that? Okay, we'll move right over to 119, approval for parking plan.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 119, 61 Center Street Parking Plan. This item will hopefully bring some resolution to a long-discussed topic of the handicap parking spots at that building. As you can see from the backup information, our DPW Director, Mr. Sanchez, our Council on Aging Director, Ms. McDonald, and Mr. Hannafin, who is representing the Disability Access Committee, met with town meeting members Millie Nash and Valerie Weldon to review the proposed handicap plan for 61 Center Street. The results of the plan call for, the end result of the plan calls to have 10 handicap spots at the building, plus 2 designated senior-only spots. 5 of those handicap spots will be at the north entrance, along with the 2 senior-only spots, and 5 of those handicap spots will be at the south entrance to the building. And the group recommends that the board approve the installation of 5 handicap spots at the south entrance. They recommend they approve the relocation of the Council on Aging bus parking spot, and the approval of the removal of 2 spots from the north side of the lot. And you see in the backup and in the pictures, there's 2 spots that are not very close to the building that are they're just gonna trade those to be 2 that are closer to the building. So Mr. Sanchez provided some aerial before and afters and a summary of results, and that result is the 10 handicap and 2 senior only that I just discussed.
Thank you. Bob?
Yeah. Please refresh my memory. Where is the bus going to be moved to?
It's in the picture, you can see it just moved back. Oh, right now it's parked right in front of that door in one of those first spots. It's just gonna be moved directly back from where that is. In one of the pictures, you can see it outlines the bus spot see if the picture has a label on it.
It's hard to see, but it's here. It's moving from here to the,
Oh, I get you.
Get it, Bob?
Oh, I see it now, yep.
Okay, yep. Thank you.
Yep.
Do we know if the signs are gonna be mounted into the ground, or are they gonna be movable? Because I know with one of the windstorms we had, the movable ones came down.
they're in the ground right now.
They're all in the ground?
They're, yeah.
Okay. That was it.
That's it? Michael?
No, I think this is a good example of a meeting of the mind, a compromise here. We still have to address the additional parking. I think, John, when's that meeting, that Thursday?
Wednesday at 6.
Wednesday night or something? So,
6 o'clock?
so, I mean, we're gonna be revisiting this in a year, but I think this was, I think Millie would agree, it's meets the needs for the time being, kind of resolves the matter. I think so.
Millie Nash, town meeting member. I came here to tell you I couldn't come here, and I came just at the right moment. So I thank you for doing this.
If I knew you were coming, I would've given you a lift on the way.
Well, there you, I had to drive. It doesn't get worse than that, does it? But we had an interesting meeting, and I think everybody agreed, first of all, that nobody seemed to have any clear idea beyond the photographs what had been there originally. And we figured that we would be happy if the bus were moved when it's parking, you know, for the night or whatever, across the way. And that would open up 5 places that are right next to the building. It can't be more than that because of the slope. And we had a long discussion on memory and how that can be misguided because nobody seemed to have much of an idea what had been there before, except for the photographs and somebody's memory, which differed from with the photographs. So this is the best we could come up with, and I think that it will be good. Thank you.
Millie, 1 second, I'll be right.
Sure.
Let me just finish up with Nick here, and then I got a couple of questions I'd like to
Oh,
ask you
sure.
myself, all right?
Okay.
So if you can have a seat right up front here,
Okay.
if you'd like. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. John, real quick, the 2 senior-only parking spots, are they gonna follow in suit next to the handicap spots? So it'll go these 5 handicap spots and then 2 senior-only spots?
These were marked on the,
They're on the north side. They're on the north side of the building.
Oh, they're on the other side of the building? I got you, okay. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm glad that we could bring this to a resolution. I know that we're gonna be looking into the parking situation in general, like Mike said, so, I won't call it great, but it's good. Yeah.
So much to work with. We have a meeting Wednesday night, right, John? At 6:30 or 6 o'clock? 6 o'clock? Okay. Millie, you had a couple, you had just said something about the parking. Did you talk to Marge about what they were, like with the bus being on the other side at nighttime? Did you talk to Marge
You
about
know what,
that yet?
and I'm not even sure I have that exactly right, but Marge was there, and we all seemed to agree on whatever it is that.
Okay, as long as you had talked to Marge already, that was my big concern, so that we're not gonna keep playing tag back and forth. You know, you telling me something, I gotta tell Marge, Marge will tell you, goes big circle. So on Wednesday night, I'd like to have this all in front of us so that we know exactly what we're trying to accomplish here. This is what we're gonna approve tonight, I believe, if, depending on how the vote goes. So, and then
Right.
Wednesday night, we're gonna talk about additional parking, right? That's what we're gonna talk about Wednesday night. So.
Right, and
that's where
I
we are.
hope to be there at 6 o'clock on
Okay,
Wednesday, right up
fantastic.
there. And in fact,
Great.
I have a sidewalk meeting at 7, so I have to go to that. But
Okay.
I can save my comments and my concerns
Okay.
For Wednesday night,
Fantastic,
if
thank
that's
you.
okay.
Thank you very much.
And
Appreciate it.
thank you. Talk about Providence, not Rhode Island. either kind. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Would you like, are you here for the parking, or?
No, here, I got this, served to me regarding Verizon, Netstar on, they work a hole already on McIntyre
Yeah, we've already went over that. Before you came in, yes.
So the pole's already there, so I don't even know why I got this.
I couldn't-
Certain people just have to be notified.
Oh, well, the pole, it's saying they're requesting for a pole to be placed on pole, the pole was already there.
It's already been approved, they're gonna move the pole or whatever they gotta do. What did we just approved to put the pole in, right?
Right, so there's a current pole there, they're gonna move it back like 5 feet or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Two poles, is the pole on my property, it's on my property, and then you put a brand new telephone pole next to my pole.
okay, why don't we do this? Let us finish up
Okay.
what we're working on with Millie, and then we'll go right back to you. So I wanna get this approved, get this done, this one item, and then we'll go back to the poll for a quick second. All right, so, everybody's in favor of this? Well, I should say that.
Motion to approve the parking plan as presented.
All right. Second by Mike, second by Nick. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. 500 voting in favor of the parking plan as noted. Okay, now before we move on to the next one, we will be a poll real quick. So, the poll is already done. So, we've already voted on it. They gotta, I don't know if there's two polls, I mean, you live right there, you must know, but they're gonna move one of them, right?
Yeah, so this is
That's the plan that we have, that's the one we got, right?
it says new pole to be placed.
New pole to be placed here, existing pole to remain, so there's gonna be two poles.
Yeah, the pole's already there.
Existing pole,
Sorry, ma'am, what address do you live at?
I live at 2 McIntyre.
2 McIntyre?
This is on 3 McIntyre.
what's that?
So I don't know what the pole issue is, because they already put the pole in.
It doesn't make any sense. They would
25
put
feet.
another pole there.
It doesn't,
Tom Hayes, I'm a director to engineering, maybe.
I was directed to Tom Hayes.
So what you want to do is go to engineering and ask Tom Hayes if one of the poles is going to be removed or not. We don't have that answer for you, so I can't say it is or it isn't.
Doesn't matter to me, I just.
Okay. All right.
I'm assuming they're gonna, that pole might be there, pending approval, they probably haven't transferred those wires yet, but,
I think the selectmen office can follow up with engineering and make sure we come to resolution, and maybe we can get.
Says existing pole to remain and new pole to be
Yes.
placed.
So that's what we just read. So like I said, the best thing is just call up to engineering tomorrow and find out if you want to.
I don't really care, I
Okay.
thought it was strange they're asking about the pole was put in like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Okay, great.
I'm good, 2 poles are good for me,
All right.
And the house has only been going on just for 2 years, so.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
good night.
And we're going back, right? Going back to 117?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 117, the transfer all alcohol liquor license after auction. This item is another public hearing that has been continued from April 8th and April 21st. This is a transfer of the license from Lester's Roadside Barbecue, doing business as Lester's Roadside Bar, to Wasab Group LLC, doing business as White Coconut Pie Restaurant. After the public hearing, we'll be looking for 3 approvals. The first will be approval of the transfer of the license. The second will be approval of the manager. The third will be approval of the floor plan. As you can see from the backup, the police, building department, board of health, and planning department have reviewed the transfer request and don't have any exceptions or require any additional permits on the submission. So again, we will open the public hearing, the continued public hearing. We'll ask if there's anyone to comment on it, close it, and then selectmen will debate and vote.
Thank you, Mr. Denizio. So we're going to go right to the public hearing, and as we continue it, there's nobody here. So do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I would leave the public hearing open. Which one is this? For the liquor?
Yes,
They're not here.
they're not here.
You need to keep the public hearing open until you talk with the,
So we're going to approve these?
They know it's got, you need to continue
Oh,
it.
this may be, are we here?
Oh, yes, this is them.
Perfect timing.
Is Attorney Brown coming?
Come on up
You
here.
come right up front. Come right up front. Thank you.
Sorry.
And could you tell us your name and who you're with and? Oh,
My
look at
name
that.
is Kanitha Sahasakmantri, and Pam is my lawyer.
Pam's a lawyer, okay,
Brown and Bedford.
okay. So now we're at the public hearing still, right? Talk about
What we do next is just keep the public hearing open, and you just talk, because you never know, someone might come in 5 seconds after we've started. So you'll discuss the topic, and then after we're done discussing the topic with them, then you close the hearing and debate.
Okay. Gentlemen? Questions, Michael?
Actually, could you, Betty, refresh my memory? Why is this a continued public hearing? What was the delay in April?
The delay before was, the application came in with the name change, that some name changes needed to be made on the LLC. I
Okay.
believe it was the
Yep.
LLC. So we just needed everything to match up, and our town council reviewed it and said, no, you can't put it in like this, everything has to match up.
I
So
see.
the corrections were made on it. Just a little cleanup.
Housekeeping
Little housekeeping.
matters, okay. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Rick?
No, I think I'm all set.
Okay. Jim?
I'm good, Mr. Chairman.
Bob?
To Betty,
Yes,
we
sir.
have all the paperwork correct now?
Yes, but before it gets in, our council will look at it again, just to make sure. That's just a last minute. But they've been great, they've submitted everything.
If I could interject, Canita has a couple of different businesses, and we originally were trying to do one umbrella, and it was becoming too complicated. So we changed the applicant name to the actual operator of the restaurant, and it made it a lot cleaner.
So this is the license from Lester's that they're purchasing? Have you already purchased it or not?
Yes.
You have? You already purchased it, okay. Okay, so which one do we want to do first, Mr. Denizio? Want the transfer first? All right, do I have a motion? Are we going to close the public hearing? Last time we get, all right.
Thank you.
We can close the public hearing now?
Yes.
I have a motion to close public hearing?
So moved. Second.
So moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Okay. So. Here we go. Do I have a motion to transfer the alcohol license from Lester's Roadside Barbecue to the White Coconut?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman, that we approve the transfer of the alcohol license. Are we transferring wine and malt?
It's a wine and malt license.
Okay. Because on the paperwork, it's,
No, it's a wine and malt.
all right.
It does not include cordials?
It does not include cordials.
All right, wine and malt license from Lester's to White Coconut Thai Restaurant.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Bob, second by Jim. All those in favor?
Aye.
500, Betty. Now we'll go to the manager. I see all the paperwork was in, went over that.
Yep.
Bob, you're on the alcohol subcommittee with me. Did you go over everything? You okay with everything there?
Yes,
Does anybody have any questions? Jim? Mike?
Nope.
Sir? Nick?
No.
Okay, so I have a motion for approval of change of managers on this.
I'll make a motion, we approve the change of managers for White Coconut Thai Restaurant.
I have a motion by Jim, second by
Second.
Nick. All those in favor? Aye. 500. Okay, now we're on to the floor plan. Going pretty quick for you, huh? Pretty happy right now?
You want to see what happened to mine when I printed it out?
Oh, my goodness. Online?
No, I'm fine.
So the floor plan, has it changed much at all from what the original one was?
It's pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same? Okay.
With less seat than before.
You have less seats than before?
Than used to be the lemon tree,
Lemon tree, yes.
less seat.
Okay. Any questions on the floor plan? We'll start with Mike.
I really don't know.
No. Jim?
Just a quick question. Have you run into any parking issues? Because I know it's very limited down there as far as parking cars.
Yes, they do have, the back, that easement, the back of the building have a big parking lot.
Is there a sign directing people?
Yes,
To there?
yes, yeah, pretty much, because they used to be restaurant for more than 20 years already there. Everybody know in the back there.
That was it.
All set? Nick?
No questions from me, Mr. Chairman.
Bob?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You inherited the building and the floor plan. Everything is handicapped accessible, and it has
Yes.
remained that way?
And same exit and handicap accessible, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I suspected that.
Okay, we're at that point. Do I have a motion to approve the floor plans?
I'll make the motion to approve the floor plans for White Coconut Thai Restaurant.
Motion by Nick, second by? Mike? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 500, Betty in favor.
One question.
Yes, one question, Betty.
Jim, do you want to address with them registering with the police department, now that they're serving alcohol, or do you want me to handle that?
Yeah, they have to go through the server ID registration, Officer Keith Shepard. They have to make appointments with him, and he'll go through the process and get you certified.
Very simple. You just go, you talk with him, and you,
I'll walk her through it. They're all tip certified already, so it'll be an
I
easy.
have the restaurant already that full liquor license.
Right.
Our server and me is already had this restaurant for 19 years.
Yeah, this is a police department
This is a town,
registration.
this is a town,
Okay.
Yeah.
Have to,
But
same
we'll
like
go-
Bedford, right?
Just like Bedford.
yes.
Just like
Yeah,
Bedford.
Kanita had a restaurant in Bedford as well.
so the
Okay.
town
Same-
actually
same
belongs to
process.
the police department, you turn them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're all set. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll be in touch.
So, we're along to 118. Mr. Denizio?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 118 is for secondhand store licenses. And recently, we began receiving inquiries about our policies and requirements for licensing secondhand stores within the town. And Betty has done a ton of work reaching out to other communities. She put together an application based on the review of the town bylaws. It has been reviewed and enhanced at that point by town council. We're here to request a vote approving the application and the process that are in your backup. We'd also like a vote to establish a fee for this license. Betty also handed out a list of some other communities and what they charge for a fee, to give you an idea of what that fee might be.
You have, I got that in an email, but I don't have it in my backup. Do you have it on
Yeah,
that
yeah.
for a minute? I didn't know we were gonna talk about it tonight.
Yeah, it should be
Just
like
a fee piece or the whole,
Just a fee piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a fine.
be in that packet with the blue paper? Should have. Yes.
That's it.
Oh, is it in there? Okay, I got one. Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
So I would defer questions to Betty if you have any, since she's done all the work.
So gentlemen, where do you want to start with this one? Bob?
No, I trust in everything that Betty has done on this. I find it interesting that up till this point, we didn't have any bylaws for secondhand stores or pawn shops or, whatever the different terminologies that have existed.
The bylaw's only a couple of years old.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's a lot more extensive what you put before us tonight, so thank you for that. No, that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
I do have a question, Mr. Chairman. Would we, is this for new businesses only, or how, are we gonna get the other businesses on board with this?
That's up to you. The new businesses, like this one in particular, who's reaching out, their landlord said, you need to talk to the town.
Okay, because my question is, can we
We
now
can.
require a business, an existing business to pay a fee for this?
I don't know where they are, sorry.
Is there one in town?
The only one that was in town was up near, it was up near Leicester's, in that little group where the guys, cutting the,
Actually, all the jewelry stores pretty
Right.
much take in,
yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, so
yeah, they all take in gold and they advertise it, so we'd have to decide, are we gonna impose this on the
Yeah, you don't have,
pre-existing
you know,
businesses?
this is a good idea. You might even not want to approve it tonight. We could do it another night, review it tonight, and then we can chat with the chief of police to find out if there are issues in certain areas and what they know.
Mr. Chairman, if you want, if we continue this, I can follow up with the chief and powers that be on this.
One other quick question. Betty, did you
Fine.
talk to the chief at all about
I
this?
have, yeah, it's
Okay.
extensive work for the
Great,
chief and
okay.
his staff.
All right, well, before we
But,
might
Mr.
be-
Chairman, that leads to a good question. I think we probably need to, we can have the discussion tonight, but we need to, I think, carry it over, because there's one place in here where it talks about they have, if they can't sell something within 30 days, they
Yeah,
have to
right.
keep it for the, well, if there's existing dealers in jewelry, they probably need to be brought up to date and fall under that guideline also, if they're not already.
Mr. Chairman, based on what I know, the current jewelers do adhere to the 30-day hold on products that are turned in. That's done just in case the property shouldn't have been turned in. So they do comply with the 30-day hold that I'm aware of. As long as they won't report it, they hold it.
So where we can hold this and do a little canvassing of the town, see what's around, gives you a chance to look at the fees as comparison to the other towns.
I think at this point, I'd like to hold it, but I still want to hear from the other two board members, and I have a couple comments about this myself, so I'll go with Mike first.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way. I think there's some gray areas that I'd like to get a little more clarification on. So, yeah, I mean, if Jim's volunteering to do.
Well, the cell towers are over.
I was
He's
gonna
got
say,
something to
this
do.
is done with the cell tower thing, right?
Those will never end.
Well, he's kind of
But, yeah,
lost right now.
I'm all for a little further,
Okay.
further look at this.
Nick?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, even in this email from the chief, he said the long-term policy needs to be reworked, but in the short term, the police department can make it work. So, I mean, if we have the opportunity to take a look at this now, I think that'd be great. I'm curious, would even the used bookstore fall under this? So I mean, there's a lot of, like gray area that we should take a deeper look at.
Yes, Michael?
Mr. Chairman, actually, I mean, if there's a business looking to get established, I mean, I'm okay with the draft application that you have before us. I mean, I'd feel comfortable approving the application, and then we could discuss implementation. I don't want to hold anybody back from
Yeah.
at least starting the process if that's the intent of the
Yes, and our policies are
potential applicant
reworkable.
down there.
Do we have somebody that's wanting to open a sec? We do, okay. Okay. Jim, were you going to say something?
I was just gonna follow up with Nick's comment. The bookstores do fall under this, and our used bookstore does send lists, an Excel spreadsheet into the police department.
Okay.
The jewelers do as well. CDs and DVDs, all that stuff that's resold.
Yep.
They do send that back in. There's actually a machine at the mall called an Echo ATM or ECO ATM, where people can turn in cell phones. That's considered a resale, and they electronically submit the slips to the police department as well. But my big question was that, we're gonna have this policy for the new shops. I think it should be universal, so that, I just want to figure out how the process is, how we implement this.
I think you would probably
With the
say
existing.
by a certain particular time, that you let the places know, and then set a date when you wanted everyone to be in compliance.
So So, Mr. Chairman, I think the takeaways from this is that what the Selectmen's office need to do, the Town Administrator's office need to do is review to see which existing groups are in town that are doing this, that we cover, that would fall under this. Ensure that everybody's following the 30-day policies or any of the other things in the policy. For us to review with the attorney, that we would be able to charge a fee to existing, maybe on a renewal process. When they renew the license, now there's a fee for it, or when they renew whatever this permit is, there's a fee for it, or something like that. And then for us to add this to policy to a regular review. So we've got some feedback from the police chief, but after we go through that with the attorney, then a regular review for the whole board. Does that sound like the takeaways that everybody's comments?
I have a thought process that I agree with Mike that, you know, I don't wanna slow this process down on somebody that wants to come into this town and start something up. So if we can, this draft or this application they have, can they start to fill this in now?
Of course.
They can start to fill this in so we can just keep them moving along. But the other thing I want to discuss, and I don't know if I really want to discuss it, I just want people to start thinking about it, are these fees that we're going to be charging these people. You know what I mean? Do we charge brand new? Or do we go back to everybody that's been taking gold and jewelry and charge them? Or do we grandfather them in because they've been here so long? Just grandfather them in and push this off to the new people that are coming into town. So it's something I want you guys to think about. Or you can tell me right now whatever your thoughts are on that.
Mr. Chairman?
Because we have no fees.
Just a thought on that thought. If we were to go ahead and approve this for the new applicant, where this is at the policy level, we can rework the policy for the long term and implement it at some other date, is that correct?
Yeah.
Of course.
Probably do that. I just feel like, my personal feeling is some of these people have been in town for a very long time doing the things they've done, and they've never had a fee, and then all of a sudden, hey, I've been here 30 years and I've been doing this, now you're gonna start charging me a fee. And we're not looking at a lot of money, but in a small business like that, or any of them, that becomes a lot of money. Now, the fee itself, whichever one you wanna take here, is that a one-time fee for the year, or is that every
One time for the
month,
year.
or just a one-time fee? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Burlington's in good financial shape here. I personally don't think that we need to charge a fee for something that we've been doing on a regular basis anyhow.
How can I say thanks? I didn't want to say that as the chairman. I was hoping it came up, so I kept going with it.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
if I can ask Betty a quick question.
Yes.
In your research, why are they charged? Like, are they just charging a fee because they
You know,
can't?
there's a lot of work involved. The police department have to review things like once a week. It does take a lot of their time. They have to approve the records that they keep. It's time consuming for them, and it's maybe a little fee, maybe that's part of the fee,
Sure.
assist with that. And every single community I checked has a fee, whether it's 20 or 1,000.
Okay, so that's definitely something I would like you guys to think about. I mean, a $20 fee for once a year, is it worth, who's it paying? You know what I mean? You just said there's a lot of work involved. Jim said there was a lot of work involved in the police department between the cell phones and the whatever else came through. You know what I mean, is that part of what we put out?
We're already doing it.
We're already doing it, right? So.
Not charging a fee for it.
Right. And the $20 or the 50 or the 75 or whatever it is here, is it gonna make that much of a difference in paying somebody off?
I don't know why we charge people fees for their dumpsters, quite honestly, and other things.
Yeah.
I don't think any need for a fee on this.
Well, why don't we think about that? We'll put this off.
We can, may I?
Yes, you may.
We could let this gentleman fill out the application because
Absolutely.
his landlord wants to have something on
Yep.
file.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. You can start for yes, go ahead.
And I'm thrilled to work with Betty on another project.
Well, that's
Get
good.
ready, Betty.
All right. So, okay, so we're just gonna put this off to our next meeting, which is when?
6/24.
24, okay? Everyone okay with that?
Yes.
Push off to 24th? Now, we've jumped all over the place here, so
20 is
I'm
next.
thinking we're going to 122?
120 is next. We have,
120. Oh, yeah, I missed that one. There we go. Okay.
well, we'll be
Sure.
quick because item number 20 is being postponed until June 24th.
I knew I liked you for a reason.
Paul wouldn't have been able to say it that fast.
No, Paul would've gave a couple neck ones and a tug on his coat and then said it. Okay, we'll go to 122. Would you like us to approve these separately, or would you like us to approve individually?
So I think Betty can weigh in here, but there's two that are going to be postponed.
May 6th? Good.
May 6th?
May 6th, regular session, and May 20th, regular session. Those are going to be postponed, so you could either do the rest collectively or individually.
However you like. If you have no issues with any of them, fine.
Okay, so do we have a motion on January 23rd, February 25th, April 18th, May 6th executive session to be approved? Have a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve all those minutes.
Okay, motion by Jim, second by Nick. All those in favor? Aye. Did he say yes? On his way out?
401.
401. Before we get into the subcommittee reports, I see we have a guest in the audience. Would you like to come up and speak? We've already discussed the parking issue, but you're here, and I'm sure you have something to enlighten us with.
I liked what you said last time, I just wanted to make sure you stuck with it.
Come on up. You might have to remind me what I said last time, because I'm getting old.
Yes, I was here about the parking issue, and they asked me to, I'm Valerie Weldon, gentlemen. You asked me to go with the other people to show what had been, so they could replace it for the handicap parking. Well, nobody was interested in what had been. They were only interested in what is right now, and I didn't know anything about that, so I couldn't help them at all. But you also said you were going to talk about parking in front of the building, and you said that there would be no handicap parking there. I just wanted to make sure you don't change your mind about that one. You're absolutely right. There should be no handicap parking if you do put parking out front. It's just too far. It's uphill, it's got a little ramp. It's terrible for handicap parking. Please don't change your mind about that. That's mostly why I came. Stick with it.
All right?
I don't know, are you still considering putting any kind of parking out there?
Well, right now,
I heard the planning board said no. But they may think about 23 spots instead of 56.
You're talking about the new.
oh, the new one,
Wednesday nights.
the new one. Okay. We have a meeting Wednesday night
I'll be there.
at 6 o'clock in front of the building.
Oh, in front of 61?
Yeah, we'll, I don't know how many of us are gonna be there, but quite a few of us are gonna be there. And Mr. Denizio, I don't know if you're coming or not, or is,
One of us will be there. sure.
one, like that.
I'd like to make a suggestion that if you're going to all be there, somebody should have the legal plans, the approved plans for that building, because that's why we could do nothing when we were there. Nobody had any plans.
Okay.
And what had been, they said wasn't legal. So
Could you
we
find out,
didn't have anything
could you
that
find
was
out if there
legal.
was a legal plan at one point for that site? And if it was, could you bring it with you?
There has to be. It had to have been meetings, and it had to be approved. There had to be more meetings, and it had to be approved again. So I'm sure someplace there's an approved plan. And that's what we didn't have.
That was how many years ago?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's,
But it worked well. It's worked well for many years, but that's not good enough. They say they don't want to have it a roadway in between the two sides of handicap parking. in the half hour we were out there, one car went by. You know, it's the exit that nobody uses.
Right.
And they said, well, they're gonna change the whole traffic flow in 4 months. So in 4 months, change it again, but I think they should put it back the way it was. It worked beautifully.
Okay.
And, yeah, I'll see you Wednesday night.
We'll be there Wednesday night, and you can,
But
once
I'd love to see an official, legal document that was approved,
Okay.
okay?
So we can do for you, all right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
You said
Mrs.
6
Weldon.
o'clock?
There you go. 6 o'clock, yes.
Okay. And you didn't decide anything tonight, other than to be there tomorrow, or to be there Wednesday?
No,
You didn't make any decisions tonight?
No, we approved the plan that was presented to us.
Oh, you got a plan presented to you? Congratulations. I didn't see any plans. Okay.
It was the conversation that you had with Millie and
Millie was here.
Mr. Hannafin and Ms. McDonald with regard to the 5 spots and the other 5 and the 2 on the north side.
Yeah, as I said, we accomplished nothing that day because they said what we were trying to do wasn't legal. So that's why I'm saying somebody should bring something that is official Wednesday night, so we know what we're talking about.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So that's all set. Why don't we go right to subcommittee reports? Jim, what was that?
Sure, well, not so much subcommittee, but just a couple of things that have happened in town. The residents will be, at least most residents will be happy that Frank Pepe's open today. They had the grand opening. But I just want to commend Sergeant Skip Belletti. He ran the Cops and Cars show on the Common. It was the first time it was done, and he did a phenomenal job, and they had well over 100 classic and you know, souped up cars and antique cars. So
And the weather was nice.
the weather was nice, a lot of people, a lot of cars, very well organized, just one of those things that we do on the Common. And nothing but positive comments, and you want to tail off of that.
No, I thought it was fabulous, and it's, you know, I've been around long enough to have enjoyed a lot of those old cars at different times. Either an uncle owned or an older cousin owned one, or, you know, just my own opportunities growing up as a teenager to have the opportunity to be in those vehicles brought back some very nice memories.
Very good. Kind of like Mike's high school memories at Wingashi Beach?
Yeah.
Michael?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Two things. Selectman Tigas and I, a couple of weeks ago, attended the Eagle Scout ceremony. I just wanted to, again, mention these 3 young men's names. Lucas McCarthy, Nicholas Latsis, and Cameron Hudson. Again, that's quite an accomplishment. And this Troop 103 continues to produce these Eagle Scouts year in and year out. And the ceremony is always a good take. I know I've done 1 or 2 with Bob in the past. If you guys have an opportunity in the future, which I'm sure there will be
It was a large crowd.
more opportunities
Good-sized crowd.
coming up, I would recommend it. And finally, Mr. Chairman, 4th of July, less than 30 days away. Let me just say, last call for any outstanding citizen nominations. We've got a couple this year. If someone knows someone in the community who has gone above and beyond, and they would like to nominate them for this year's Outstanding Citizen Award, please get it to me ASAP, Mike at michaelrunyon.com, or send it to Mr. Tigas or Mr. Priest as well, if you know how to reach them. I'm going to say we need to make this choice within a week or so. So, again, if you know someone, get it to us just as soon as possible. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well,
Just one follow-up, well, 2 follow-ups. The pastor at the UCC Church, the Reverend Angela Wells Bean, and her husband just had a child. All are healthy, and I think it's very exciting for her and her husband to bring this new life into the world, and I congratulate both of them. And we were talking earlier about the diversity of the schools. I think if you spent more than a minute looking at the graduation ceremony, you would have noticed that even the high school is very diverse in its student body, and you know, everybody benefits when you get to know the other guy, whoever they are, and why they're different. So, congratulations to the class of 2019.
All set?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple things. Some subcommittees, some not. I had the honor and pleasure of attending the Christopher Joyce Memorial Golf Tournament today. Beautiful weather to get out. You know, I've known the Joyces my entire life. Great family, and you know, it was a great day. It truly was. I know that Chris was looking down on everybody, having a good time. Huge praise to Joyce, Elianis, and Help Us. I know on 529 they had an event, and Joyce and the members of Help Us consistently just are doing amazing things in and around the Boston area. So I just want to give a shout out to them. Nothing new to report on Grandview Farms. Sandy's doing an amazing job, and that place is booking up fast. So I always say that you know, if folks want to reserve space at the Grandview, do it now, because I know the next couple months are already packed, and if folks are looking for space in the next year or so, call Sandy Madigan at Town Hall. Let's see, MIS, Information Technology Subcommittee, we had the opportunity to meet a couple weeks ago, given the opportunity for the members of MIS to bring forth any major concerns. The concern that I think was echoed at town meeting is around cybersecurity that we're hearing, you know, in ways that we can start looking into ensuring that from a hardware and software perspective, the town of Burlington is safe from any digital threats. And I know that Fetty and Gerald Berchault and myself are working to get ISAC back up and running so that we can start looking at that. So also on 529, there was a municipal vulnerability preparedness meeting. We got to see some output from a prior brainstorm working session that was done with some members of the community. This is a great opportunity for us to become part of the MVP. There's tons of grant money involved for emergency preparedness and climate preparedness. And then there was on 6/5 master plan meeting. BCAT recorded that, so if you haven't had the chance, check that out. It's around concerns and opportunities, what the master plan presented, and people had the opportunity to kind of whiteboard ideas on that. I'll echo what Selectman Runyon said about the 4th of July parade. It is less than a month away. I don't know where the time is going. I myself need to update the website, so if you go to the website right now, it's not currently updated. But if you're around on Independence Day and you want to volunteer, get a hold of us. You know, we can always use the hands, and, you know, we're not asking for, you know, 8 hours in the sun. You know, we can work within your own personal guidelines, and see if you can come for a half hour, whatever you can give us to help out, we greatly appreciate it. And then lastly, I had the opportunity last Saturday, the 8th, to attend the Mass Municipal Association's, there's a nice event. And for myself, as a new selectman, it was great to hear more about open meeting law, public records. There was some great topics around regionalization and the benefits around state grant money that can be achieved through certain regionalization of elements. And then we had the opportunity to see Senator Lewis come in and talk about education in Chapter 70 and Chapter 90, and what's happening at the state level. That's all I got.
That's it? You sure
That's
now?
all I got.
I'm sitting there going, I don't have anything, what am I gonna say? I'm the chairman, I'm in trouble here. So, let me just say, subcommittee reports, I don't have anything on mine, so I'm gonna go right to the chairman's report, and it's gonna be very quick. Yes, you were right, cops and cars, I happened to sneak out of work for 3 minutes, I just wanted to drive by, so I drove by, saw it quick, and Bernie did do a great job. Bernie did do a wonderful job, and that's another event that I'm sure we'll be hosting every year, and I'm sure that, you know, it turned out very good, and That money went to people helping people, that's what I was told, so that's another good event for us. The Mike Joyce Tournament, I apologize to everybody out there, especially my foursome that I didn't play this year. I couldn't make it, but I was thinking about it all day long, because it was a beautiful day. It was a beautiful day, and that group would have been a lot of fun. As far as anything else goes, I have nothing, so it was good. Mr. Denizio, do you have anything for us? Anything new?
So I just want to thank you for taking it easy on the new guy, and I'll be sure to let Mr. Sagarino know that all went well, ran smooth, and finished on time.
So we're probably,
Sure to let him know that.
he'll probably watch this tomorrow, and I will say that you've done a fantastic job. There's been no glitches. There's been no, Mr. Sanchez was wrong about anything. Nothing went wrong. It was an absolutely perfect meeting. And I want to thank you for stepping in and filling those big shoes. And you did a heck of a job for us.
I'll be
So
sure to
thank
let
you.
him know, too.
And I'll call him tomorrow. Okay, so we got that. Old business, new business. Anything? Nothing? Do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Mike, second by Jim. Thank you, Jim. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.